Yes, we are live. We are live right here at We are live at the Good Fight right here every single Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. CST. We are always grateful to have this opportunity to share this space with you, to have this time with you, to engage in conversation with you on various topics, depending on whatever we feeling. Whatever we feeling. And so I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you in the spirit of Sawubona. I got something in my mouth. I'm not going to be able to function until I get it out. Do I need to go in there and get it? Is that what I need to do? I still don't have it. Oh my. I can't get it. But in the spirit of Sawubona, the Zulu tribal greeting, which is meant to remind us every time that we say it, Sawubona, Sawubona. Every time we say it, it is meant to remind us that we are one in spirit. We are not one in the spirit of Jesus Christ in this space. When I go to church and I am in church where everyone in the church is a Christian, then yes, we are one in the spirit of Jesus Christ. But when we are beyond that space, when we are dealing with, interacting with, engaging with humans that do not share that same Christian faith, then we are one in the spirit of humanity. It is our humanity that binds us, regardless of our faith, regardless of our religious association or affiliation. So that is what the Sawubona is about. The Sawubona is a reminder that we are one in the spirit of humanity, that no matter what we do, no matter what we say, we are unable to, it is impossible for us to extract each other from this phenomenon that we call being human. Hotel, I see you. I see you, Hotel. And so, in that spirit of oneness, that means that we are bound together by our humanity. You are invited into this space. You are welcome into this space to bring the whole of who you are. Whatever your thoughts are, whatever your ideas are, whatever your feelings are, whatever your lived experiences are, whatever your ancestry, your pedigree, your heritage, whoever you are, Sawubona says that we invite you to bring every ounce of who you are, regardless. It does not matter what you've done. It does not matter what you've said. It does not matter what your people have done or said. Here you are in this space and you are welcome. And we honor you and we celebrate you as a human in this space. Doesn't mean that we're going to agree with everything you said. Doesn't mean that we're going to like everything you said. That is not the goal. The goal is for us to figure out how do we, whatever our faith is, live into that faith in a way that allows us to interact with each other in a way that we can coexist. That you can believe what you believe, and I can believe that what I believe, and still we are able to have the abundant life that we deserve as humans on this planet. So thank you for joining us for the Good Fight. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are more than, I'm so happy that you are, Chloe, I got something in my, I'm so happy that you are here. I really wish that I could just, whatever this is, I can just get it out. We are more than happy to have you. If this is your first time, there are ways that you can engage in the Good Fight. One of the ways that you can engage is to locate yourself in the story. Whatever story that is being told, whether it's something that I am sharing about something I saw on TV, whether it is something that I am reading from the Bible, whether it is something that I'm sharing from my own lived experience, like where are you in that story? And then are you the protagonist? Are you the main character? Are you the antagonist? Are you the one who fights against the main character? Are you the bystander? Are you the one that's sitting back just watching all the action happening? Are you the activist? Are you the one saying, I'm going to burn it down? Like, I can see that this is wrong and I want to do something about it. Like, who are you in the story? That is one of the ways that you can engage, is to find yourself in the story. Another way that you can engage in the Good Fight is to recognize that you are not involved at all This is not your story, doesn't have anything to do with you, but you understand that you are in a position to be gifted and graced with the story of another. This is somebody else's story that you have an opportunity to receive. It is given to you freely, and all you have to do is say, oh, I'll take that. Now, whatever happens with the story on the inside of you, we don't have anything to do with. We're not trying to dictate it. We don't have an agenda. We're not trying to say anything. All we know is that the story is here. It is available for you. And all you have to do is be willing to say, oh, I'll take that. A third way that you can enjoy, that you can engage with a good fight, is to walk through a door. So beyond this moment, so this session is only going to last from 7 to 8. At 8 o'clock, what happens when I click in stream and I leave the studio? What happens then? How does this conversation continue to live within your body? What does it prompt you to do? What does it prompt you to say? Where does it prompt you to go? How does it prompt you to react or not react? Like, those are the questions that you ask yourself, that you deal with beyond this moment. And if you choose to share with us later, like, hey, I was looking at you the other day and this is what I thought, that's fine. If not, it is okay, because we trust the power of the universe at work with you to work that thing out, whether we know about it or not. And then you can also comment right here, like Hotel, you can also comment right here, and that's another way that you can engage, and you can talk to each other, or we can all talk together. It's like, it's just whatever. It's just whatever. We are going with the flow. And for those of you who show up every single Tuesday night, I am just overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed by your support, by your encouragement. I'm even overwhelmed by how you're like, wait a minute now. I had to reach out to you to let you know how I felt about something. I am here for it all. So thank you for your engagement on this night. So this every Tuesday, I don't think I've ever said this before, but I probably should say it. But every Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening, I send out a flyer that says the good fight is happening soon, right? To let you know that there's an hour between the time that I send the flyer and the time that we go live right here in this space. And it tells you what the title is, and it also tells you what the text is. For those of you who, and I know there are some of you out there because you've made yourself known, for those of you who actually want to take a moment and read the text in preparation for the conversation, I want to make sure that you have it readily available to you. For those of you who are like, I wonder if this is a topic that I'm interested in. Do I want to even join in tonight, or am I going to wait for another night? Then there is a topic that lets you know. Now that I think about it, I guess the topics are not on the nose. So you really don't know. It's not my nature. It's not my practice to for the topic to be on the nose. And so I'm not going to promise you that I'll be more upfront about the topics. That's not how I roll. But there's a topic for you to consider. Like, hey, let me just jump on and see if this is something I'm interested in. And if not, I can jump off. Like, you are free. This should be one of the freest spaces that you encounter every single week. You have full control over your body to be able to say, yes, I want to hear this. No, I don't want to hear this. Yes, I want to hear it for a little bit, but as soon as she said that, I was out. Like, you have full control. So maybe you'll just jump on long enough to see if it's something that you're interested in. So, but every day, every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, that flyer does go out so that you will know where we're headed. At least you'll know for sure the text that we're going to use to ground our conversation. And so this week, the text is grounded in 1 Corinthians chapter, I want to say just chapter 13, it might be chapter 12. I get them mixed up, about love and what love is. But let me tell you how I got here. So usually I tell you that there are two types of shows that I watch. I stream on TV. Like, I don't watch like regular TV, but I have apps on the TV. You know how you have smart TVs and you can use the apps. And so I've got the Food Network Go app, And now I've got the YouTube app. I was using Oxygen, but now I'm using YouTube to watch reality crime shows. Reality crime shows are those crime shows where I am able to see the name of the person and hear their story, and then I can look them up. I can Google them for more information. I can learn more information about their families. I can learn more information about their children. I can learn more information about their own personal bios. Like, I want to know, like, I am a storyteller. I am a story collector. I am fascinated by the power of story. And so those are the kinds of crime shows that I watch. I'm not watching, is the Equalizer a crime show? I don't know. I'm not watching those shows where this is something that Hollywood made up, that this is a figment of somebody's imagination. And even though art imitates life or life imitates art, like that's not what I'm watching. I'm watching like, no, this is a real person who actually did this. And I can say, oh, they was born in Georgia and then they moved to New Hampshire. Like, that's what I do. So now I've been watching these shows that are on YouTube, and basically the one that two of them I've been watching more than anything else is For My Man and Fatal Attraction. But tonight this conversation is not grounded in a crime show at all. The conversation is sourced in the cooking show. And I watch all manner of cooking shows. Well, actually I like the competitive cooking shows. And they're like reality shows because they're unfolding right before us. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. But this particular show that I'm watching is called Alex versus America. So there is a celebrity chef. Her name is Alex Guarnaschelli. She is Italian by birth, but she was trained as a French chef. And so that is more so that's her culinary expertise, is as a French trained chef. And the way that this show is designed is that there are 3 chef testants. They don't call them contestants, but chef testants who come from any part of the United States. This is just the United States. They don't come from outside the United States. Well, no, I won't say that. They might have been born outside of the United States, but they're living in the United States. So they come from some part of the United States. It's 3 of them who come at a time from various parts of the United States. And they are competing against her, just her by herself, competing against these 3 different chefs that come from different states in the country. And it is her goal, it is her mission to beat all 3 of these chefs. And so that's what the story, that's the gist of the reality cooking show. And so I was watching that. I'm usually binge watching stuff. So I'm binge watching this, and I can't remember which episode it is, but oh no, it's Alex versus Brunch. So all of the 3 chef testants that are called upon, that are extended the invitation to come and compete against her on this show, they specialize in a particular area. They specialize in pork. They specialize in beef. They specialize in seafood. They specialize in Italian cooking. They specialize in French cuisine. Like, they specialize in something. So this particular episode was Alex competing against 3 chef testants who specialize in brunch. That is their specialty. The restaurants that they have, they serve brunch every single day in and day out. That is their livelihood. That is their passion. That is their jam, brunch. Chef Alex, Iron Chef Alex Guarnaschelli, brunch is not her thing. That's not what she does. She doesn't even serve brunch at her restaurant, which is another reason why this is supposed to be exciting to us, because this ain't even what you do. Are you going to be able to beat them? Like, how this going to work out? But there's something that happened when she was talking about, because there's always commentary, there's always story. Story is everywhere, and I love story. So she's telling the story after she finishes cooking, and she's talking about her reaction to what she just did, like what just happened here. Like, through these 3 just finished, I just finished. Let me tell you what I'm feeling. Let me tell you what I'm thinking. Hey, Takia. Hey, Takia. Where your sons? What they doing? What them doing? I love children so much. How old your sons? I love children, and they are just such joys. Ain't no telling what they doing. Talking. Whew. So here she is talking about her experience, and she was feeling some kind of way because she did not feel like she had done her best. Because again, brunch is not something she specializes in. She did not feel like she was able to put her best foot forward because she's just trying her best to stay above board. Like she's basically drowning in this particular genre of food, this particular cuisine. No, brunch isn't a cuisine. Is it a genre? So she's drowning because this is just not what she does every day. So she's she's putting on her professional chef hat. Like, I don't do this every day, but I know food. So because I know food, I'm just going to tap into what I know, and I should be able to compete on this level. Oh, she said they sleep. Oh, the oldest one just turned 4, and the baby is 1. Them is pokanooks. That's what I call them. Look at that pokanook. The oldest just turned 4, and the baby is 1. So that means he around here just talking and trying to pull up, trying to walk. What is you doing, sir? What is you doing, sir? That is too cute. I wish I had children. I really thought that I would, but I'm just so glad to be around them, to see them, to know them, to hear the stories. And so Alex Gordon Shelley is like, I love brunch. That's what she said. She said, wait. Listen to Takia. Yes, he's an amen quarter for Big Brother all day. Girl. Oh, I love that. I love that they love each other. That the 4-year-old is teaching the 1-year-old, and the 1-year-old running around behind the 4-year-old. My mama used to talk about me, right? Like, I have 2 older brothers. I did not know that they were boys and I was a girl. Like, I didn't know that. I just know that we were all living in the house together. They were older than me, and I'm trying to keep up with them. And so whatever they was doing, I was trying to do. So she talked about the fact that there's this phenomenon, because my mother really should have been a child psychologist, but that wasn't available to her because of racism in America. She was a Black woman. All she could do was be a cosmetologist or a teacher. Like, those were the only 2 options available to her. But she was talking about how when you have older siblings, regardless of your gender, when you have older siblings, there's just something in you that wants you to keep up. You're trying to keep up with them. Now, you ain't but 1. You can't do what 4-year-olds do because you ain't but 1. But, babe, I'm finna try it. If I see them doing it, if they jump, I'm jumping. If they dive off the board, I'm diving off the board. And I just love that children are so free, so liberated. Like, they are so unconcerned. Like, they are not bothered. So he like, whatever my brother said, that's what I say. Oh, you gotta love children. I wish we would leave children alone, right? Like, in the world in which we live, if we left it up to children, if we allowed the children to truly lead us, they do not care what color the child is. They gonna play with them on the playground. They do not care whether or not you have a disability. They gonna play. They gonna talk to you. They gonna come to you. They gonna try to help you. Like, if we would just leave them alone, what a better world this would be. Yeah. Yeah. And so she said that was my sister, Kayla. She asked my mom to give her lip gloss and earrings and then turn around and put on baseball helmet. She was running behind me and Tony. Oh, I didn't think about that. Like, I had 2 brothers. So, even to this day, like, I can't get with women. Like, women be tripping about, like, what I got on and what my makeup is. My brothers are like, girl, come on here. It don't matter if your clothes match. It don't matter if they on the right side. They could be inside out. My brother, that's how I grew up. I was unbothered. And so I didn't think about what it would be like to have a different gender. So she had a boy and a girl. So she like, look, either way it go, I'm ready. Either way it go, I'm ready. I love that. I absolutely love that. Even to this day, my brothers and I still talk about growing up in the house together and what it meant for us, the gender, like how the gender played out. And I was doing whatever they wanted to do, but I had my daddy. I was a daddy's girl. So look, don't mess with me when it comes to my daddy. Yeah. Yeah. So Alice Warner Shelley is here, and she's talking about how much she loves brunch. She really loves to eat brunch. But when she thinks about brunch as an entity, when she thinks about brunch as a classification of foods, when she thinks about brunch as an offering that is made to people, she said brunch is an emotional thing. People have a certain way that they want to eat their eggs. Think about it. If you go to brunch, even if you're not at brunch, but when you talk about eggs, somebody's going to ask you, how do you want your eggs? How do you like them? Do you like them over easy, over medium, over hard? How do you like your eggs? And she was like, some people, how do you like your bacon? Some people want their bacon extra crispy. So she was like, it's a very emotional thing. And basically she was saying it's very difficult to try to satisfy every single person who comes into your restaurant for brunch, because everybody has their own way and you have to cater to them if you want to be the very best brunch establishment that you can be. Now, you ain't got to cater to them. You can do it however you want to do it and then risk the reviews that are going to come as a result of that, because in this day and age, it's all about the reviews, baby. They gonna go on social media and they gonna read you. Whether it's good or bad, they gonna read you. Yeah, she said that. She said, oh, I never thought about it being emotional. Yeah, that's what she said. Like, there's a certain way I like my potatoes. There's a certain way I like my eggs. There's a certain way I like my bacon. Look, I need for you to get it right. And especially in this case, these brunch restaurants are not buffets. You know, the buffet, baby. If you go to a buffet, it really ain't emotional. You gonna get this what you see right here. What you see in this pan right here, either you gonna get it or you not, and we gonna move on. But when you are ordering and they are cooking to order, then it is all about what you think, how you feel, what you want. And so you are concerned about that because you want the very best reviews. And so this is what she said that led me to this conversation tonight. She said, I love brunch. Well, first she said, the staff needs bottomless mimosas at the end of brunch. Most people, when you go to brunch, like me, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna choose the brunch based on the mimosas. Y'all got bottomless mimosas? How much the mimosas? Because that's part of brunch to me. How many different flavors of juice do you offer to go with my champagne? You got grapefruit, you got cranberry, you got orange juice, you got pineapple juice. Like, how many can we order at one time? If we order a bucket, how many juices do we get with the bucket? Oh, we get 2? Oh, okay, we can have cranberry and pineapple. Like, that's what I need to know. And so she was talking about how stressful brunch is because it is emotional. Oh, okay. Takia said, give me a bottomless or a flight. Okay, I'll take the flight. I'm on one of this. I want one. I'm gonna try the cranberry. I'm gonna try the pineapple. Usually a flight is 4, right? I don't think I've ever seen a flight where it was 3, but usually I've seen a flight was 4. So what you got? Cranberry, orange juice, pineapple. I don't think I've seen apple. Wait, I've seen cranberry, orange juice, pineapple. I don't know what the other. I just had these the other day and I can't remember what they were. But yes, give me bottomless or give me a flight. But mimosa is part of my brunch. You ain't serving mimosas, I'm not coming to your brunch. Oh, pomegranate. I bet it was amazing. I don't think I've ever had pomegranate, but I would definitely try that. Ruby and Nessa, I want orange. Give me orange, please. Thank you very much. And so she's saying, look, brunch is so stressful because you're trying to cater to every single person because it's emotional that the staff after brunch, they need bottomless mimosas. And so this is what she said. She said, that is why I do not do brunch, because I want to preserve my love. She said this. She said, because I love being a chef, because I love cooking for folks, because I love putting that smile on folks, this right here, this brunch situation it will cause me to have some kind of feelings that will keep me, that will deprive me of feeling the love that I have for this craft of mine, this passion that I have for loving what I do, which is cooking, to put a smile on people's face. This is going to take me out of my element, because y'all be tripping about this brunch. So I don't even do brunch, because I want to preserve my love for what I do. And when she said that, preserve my love, that is what got me to thinking. And that's how we got to this place tonight. And the topic that I wrote on the flyer is preserve my love. And I started thinking about it, not in terms of brunch. Like, I'm through talking about brunch. How does that work? If we want to preserve our love, how does that work when we are in relationships with folks? Regardless of the relationship, if we are in relationship with our family, if we are in relationship with our friends, if we are in relationship with the church, because that's where I'm headed, in relationship with the church, if you say that I know that if I allow this space to give me all of what I think it's capable of giving me, it's going to turn me off. I know that this is a space that's going to mess with me. I know that this is a space that's going to take me out of my peace. I know that this is a space that's going to mess with my head space. I know that this is a situation that's not going to end well. So in order for me to preserve my love for you and for this space, I'm going to choose not to do it. So Takia says, I've heard hairstylists explain in a similar way why they specialize in certain services, even though they can do it. Oh, okay. So maybe a hairstylist is able to do like a press. What my cousin call it? A blowout. Look, I'm not good. I'm not good with hairstyles, as you can see. So maybe, yes, I know how to do a blowout, but because y'all be emotional about it, I'm not even gonna offer that. I'm gonna stick to the braids. Or I know how to braid and I know how to do sister locks, but because y'all emotional about it, I'm gonna stick to the perms. Yeah. So whatever it is that I can do, wait a minute. And then so here is, wait. So Ruby says a silk out. Girl, I ain't know, that's what you call it. A silk out. A silk out. I like the way that sounds. Girl, give me a silk out. Can I get a silk out? So, you wind. If we are not able to preserve our love, if we are not able to realize and recognize that this is going to send me into a space that I know I don't need to be in, I know I cannot flourish in this space, I'm going to end up in an abusive relationship. And a silk. Okay, so it's a silk out or a silk press. So Takia, like, come on, Ruby. I like the way it sounds. Give me some silk, honey. Can I get some silk? But what about me though? Like, if I don't have any hair at all, like, would I have to just get a wig? Like, because you ain't got nothing to glue the silk onto. You ain't got nothing to weave it into. So I would just have to get a wig, huh? Yeah. But can I get what you call it? What you call the ones now? The weave. It's where it look like it's your real hair. Like it's got a part in it, but it look like it's your real front lace. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's what I need. Wait a minute, a bust down? What is a bust down? What is a bust down? Oh, I didn't know you. Ruby said, Listen, Ruby, you taking me too fast. When you become a cosmetology instructor, I thought you were an activist and an advocate, and I thought you were the CEO of Felon, and I thought, wait, what? Girl, you be doing the doggone thing. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. A lace front. That's what I need, a lace front. I've been thinking about getting some hair, but I don't know. Oh, okay. So that straight part down the middle with the silky straight. Get you a bust down. Ruby said I used to teach at Arkansas Beauty. Got it. I did not know that. You are just full of surprises. Talking about stories. Wait, look. this is what I want to know. This is really a question for everybody, because I believe that everybody has a story. But Ruby, I know it's a book in you. Like, what's the title of it? Have you started writing it? When are you gonna start writing it? Are you gonna let me edit it? I'd be more than willing to edit it. Like, I ain't gonna even charge you. Like, come on with the book, Ruby. Come on with the book. And so if you are not careful, this is going back to what Ruby said, you wind up in an abusive relationship. And not only are you the one who could possibly be abused, but if you have a lived experience like mine, you can become the abuser. You better ask my lovers. I will swing, because it's just that unhealthy. If you are not realizing that this is not the space that allows you to preserve your love, then you need to realize I need to get up out of here, because this is not going to end well. It's not going to end well for me, and it's not going to end well for you. I'm just trying to keep it real. Oh, so here's your, okay. Yes, in this title, you have never seen my scars. Ruby, why haven't we seen your scars? Because you don't want us to see them? Because you want us to see how it doesn't matter the fact that you've been scarred, you are an overcomer, you are more than a conqueror, so you don't want us to see them? Or like, you looking at me and you think you know me, but you only think you know me because you've never seen my scars, because I'm not operating in that space of hurt. I'm operating from a space of power. I'm operating from a space of moving forward. Like, which one is it? Because I'm like, I feel some kind of way about both of them. I'm just wondering. Yes, Lo says, hurt people hurt people. I learned that first from, what's that white woman name? That's got the big old church. She always trying to go to Africa and give people water. I'm like, Joyce Meyer, why is you going to give people water? Can't you build a school? Can you not build a school? Why is you giving people water? Joyce Meyer, she wrote this book called Beauty from Ashes, and she talked about hurt people hurting people. Like, I don't know if it's in that book. I read the book, but I don't remember if it's in the book. But I know I used to follow all of them. TD Jakes, Joyce Meyer, Creflo. I used to follow all of them. I don't follow them anymore. But yes, hurt people hurt people. And so what Alex Gorner Shelley is asking us to do is to think about this. It's to think about how we are allowing ourselves to be, oh, I should have known you was going, Lo, you always starting stuff. Why you always starting stuff? Going to Africa to rob the riches of Africa. Yeah. You know, it's true. Like, I do know that different ministers or different evangelists, they go to other places, but mostly you hear about them going to Africa. Mostly you do. Is they going to West. Okay, so here is Ruby. Internally, people don't care about your pain. They want you to pretend. I'm a hurt person who heals people because I understand pain. Okay. So you're coming from this space. I asked Ruby about her scars. Like, why haven't we seen your scars? Because remember, she said that the title of her book is You Have Never Seen My Scars. And she says, internally, I know that I have scars. I carry these scars on the inside, but people really don't they don't care about what you got going on. They don't care about your pain. They want you to pretend. I'm a hurt person. And you know what? Not everybody can name that. Thank you so much for naming that. I'm a hurt person, and I heal people because I understand your pain. I can meet you where you are. I can give space for you to be vulnerable. I can create a space for you to tell your whole story and to live your truth and to be authentic and transparent and vulnerable. Because everybody does. We talked about that the other week. Everybody doesn't allow you to do that, but I'm going to allow you to do that. So it sounds like you were on the Word Network. Listen, since Ruby has said that we need to be able to name who we are, there was once a time in my life that in order for me to cope with the pain of what was happening in my home, I thought that Jesus was the answer. So church became my refuge. Jesus became my savior. Jesus became my defender. And so whatever Jesus had to offer, I was here for it. And so whoever was preaching Jesus, I didn't care if you was black, white, orange, or purple. I didn't care if you were a man or a woman or a child. I didn't care if you was from Mississippi or Canada. It did not matter to me. If you were preaching Jesus and I felt like you could give me a word that would deliver me, a word that would help me get through the violence that was perpetrated in my home, if you could help me feel safe, if you could help me know that I was going to make it, if you could let me know that there was one day I was going to be delivered, sooner or later, what does Leandria Johnson, sooner or later, it's going to turn around. Right? Like so yes, I was willing to look. I was at everybody's church. Every time the door is open, I was going down to everybody's altar call. People were laying hands on me. I'm getting slain in the spirit. I'm speaking in tongues. Whatever it takes, I was willing to do. So absolutely, that was me. And I'm not ashamed about it. It's part of my story. I'm not ashamed about it. So Alice Warner Shelley says, listen, we have got to understand the power of preserving our love. So if we are in churches, and I really did think about, I didn't think about Black people. I actually thought about LGBTQIA folks when she said this. That was the first population I thought about, because that's how I got to Arkansas. That was my job. I was a faith organizer. My job was to reach out to all leaders of faith communities. It didn't matter if you were Methodist, Baptist, Muslim, Jewish, Islamic. It did not matter what your faith practice was. My job was to reach out to you to see if your theology expanded enough to allow people who are same gender loving to be a part of your worship experience. Could they be received into the full life of worship? I'm not talking about they can come to church, but they can't lead no ministry. They can come to church, but they can't sing in the choir. They can come to church, but they can't be around the youth. I'm not talking about that. But you say, no, we receive you into the full life of the church. Whatever ministry you want to be a part of, whatever your passion is, whatever your gifts and talents are, we believe that God created you just as you are, and we welcome you into this space just as you are, and we come alongside you to help you find and live into your abundant life. That was my job. And so I thought about this immediately because there were so many ministers who was like, let me tell you something. I believe in Jesus, and I got to tell you what the word said, right? So they can't do that up in here. So there were so many spaces where LGBTQ people, remember, this was my job. I wasn't focused on Blackness at the time. I wasn't talking about race. I wasn't talking about anything other than sexual orientation. That was my job, sexual orientation and gender identity. And there was more than one pastor who said, listen, they can come in this church, but they will not be received fully until they confess that they are sinners and that they allow us to let Jesus change their lives. Like, that's the only way that they could be received fully. And so a lot of people that I met who were actually same gender loving or people of trans experience, they would go to these churches where the pastor was preaching against their life. So they go into these churches where the pastor is telling them, you going to hell. Because of who you are going to hell. Now, these are people, I'm not talking about people who woke up yesterday and was like, I think I might be gay. I'm talking about people who have struggled their entire lives. They have struggled to say, I don't want to be this way. I'm not trying to be this way. I didn't ask to be this way. As a matter of fact, I've been fighting every day not to be this way, but I cannot do it. I don't know what else to do. This is who I finally understood, that this is who I am. And yet they were going to churches where the pastor was saying, and because of who you are, you're going to hell. Lo says, it's not your religion or your profession that you are catching hell in America and around the world. It's because of your melanated skin. It's not your religion or your profession that you are catching hell in America and around the world. Okay, if you talking to me, Okay, you know I am going there with David and Jonathan. Like, if you're talking to me as a Black woman in America, then yes, I can get with you and say, absolutely, it is because of my skin color that I am ostracized, that I am dehumanized, that I am degraded. I could absolutely agree with you on that. And I want to say in this particular case, because remember, I'm advocating and activating and irritating on behalf of people who are LGBTQIA. So for these people, it didn't matter if you were white. You were being thrown out the church, not because you were Black. Even if you was white, you was being thrown out the church. Even if you was Hispanic, you was being thrown out the church. Even if you was Catholic, it did not matter what your ethnicity or your race was. If you were same gender loving and that went against what they believed God was calling them to preach in that particular context, then it didn't matter. So in this case, I'm like, it depends on who you're talking to, right? And this is another thing that would happen to us. Like, we would talk about what's called the oppression Olympics. So Black people are like, yeah, you treat me this way because I'm Black. And then somebody gay is like, nah, you treat me this way because I'm gay. Somebody transgender said, nah, you treat me like this because I'm transgender. Somebody who's an immigrant said, no, you treat me like this because I'm an immigrant. Somebody who's poor says, no, you treat me like this because I'm poor. And all of us are in the same room. And we are in this room just kind of lamenting about our lives and trying to figure out whose issue is more important than the other issue, instead of binding together and saying, listen, we all got the same issue. The issue is not our race. The issue is not our sexual orientation. The issue is not our immigration status. The issue is the system of white inhumanity. That's the enemy. We are not the we need to band together and fight them instead of trying to figure out whose issue is more important than the other. So Lo says, and David should have been put under the church, loving a man as he would love a woman. So Lo, you can't have it both ways, right? Those of us who grew up in a Christian church that preached the Bible the way that it is, literal. David was a man after God's own heart. So you cannot tell me that David is a man after God's own heart and then turn around and tell me that he's gay. Because that, I cannot reconcile that in my mind. That causes cognitive dissonance, and I cannot figure out how to do that. And so I'm going to get rid of one in favor of the other. And so because, especially Black folks, most Black people have been conditioned to be homophobic. Most Black people believe that if you are gay, you're going to hell. And especially, Lo said, well, I didn't write it. No, you didn't write it. But are you preaching it? And a lot of people who understand, let me tell you what I learned about being in seminary. Those of us who went to seminary, I got friends. I got friends I went to seminary with at the same time, in the same classrooms, at the same school, receiving the same education, and we are in the part of the same church. We come out of seminary. We are now into our own different cities and states, and we are United Methodist, because I became United Methodist. We are United Methodist, and most of us who have an understanding about the Bible that will allow us to say that David and Jonathan were same gender loving, we're not preachers in the pulpit. Because you can't have it both ways. Because the system of religion wants you to preach a certain way, a certain thing, a certain way. And those of you who deviate from it, either you're going to start your own church, you're going to start a non-denominational church, or you ain't going to preach. Not in the pulpit. Because if you're going to preach in the pulpit, you got to preach what they tell you to preach. You got to preach what the system requires that you preach. So you can't have it both ways. So King Lo says, I'm illustrating the contradiction between one community versus, yes, I get it. And that's what I'm saying that Alex Warner Shelley is asking us to do. If you say you have a passion and you love something, in order for you to preserve that love, you got to take yourself out of certain spaces. That is exactly what she's saying. Those of us who have a love for people and we say, I'm going to love you no matter what. I don't care what identities you hold. I don't care what box the world puts you in. If I'm going to love you, then there are certain spaces that I can't occupy. I, Denise Donnell, I cannot occupy a church that says you're going to hell if you're gay. I can't occupy that I can't be in that space, because that is not what my passion and my love for people allows. I can't preserve my love for people while I'm listening to you condemn them to hell for something that they don't have any control over. And even if you said it's a choice, I believe people have a right to choose whatever they want to choose. And so if you tell me they're going to hell for choosing, then I'm like, I can't be. So in order for me to preserve my love for folks, I got to get out of certain spaces. And then going back to what Ruby said about how you're going to end up in abusive relationships. If I'm going to preserve my love of self, if I'm going to preserve my love, because Denise loved me some Denise. I love me some me. If I'm going to preserve my love for me, then I cannot be in a space in any relationship where you think you're going to control me, where you think you're going to tell me what to do, where you think you're going to have me committing crimes, and you're going to have me bowing up at folks, cussing people out because you said, no, I cannot occupy that space. And so that's what this conversation is about. It's about us deciding how we are going to preserve whatever love it is that we have. I'm not trying to dictate you. I'm not trying to say you got to be same gender loving. If you cannot bring yourself to love people who love folks who are the same gender as them, I'm not trying to force you to do that. If you cannot love people who are of trans experience, I'm not trying to force you to do that. What I'm trying to get us to do is ask ourselves, what is it that you love? Who is it that you love? How is it that you love? And anything that threatens that love, I don't care if it is church. I don't care if it is your husband, your partner, your spouse, your lover. I don't care if it is your child, your grown child, not your young babies, your grown child. If you, in order to preserve your love for whatever that is that you believe in as it relates to humanity, because this is what this is about. Remember, the good fight is about how do we live our faith? How does our faith show up in the world? How does our faith help us to coexist as humans? So however it is that you love and you are able to love, if you're going to preserve that love, then that means you're going to have to check some of these spaces. And so I am right now challenging those of us who are continuing to go into spaces, especially church spaces, where they're teaching you to hate. They're teaching you to condemn. They're teaching you to judge. If you are going to preserve the love that you have for humanity, you got to remove yourself from these spaces. You say, well, girl, I can't stop going to this church. I've been going to this church since I was born. I don't care. Girl, this was my mama and them church. I don't care. Girl, my grandmama, I went to church with my, I don't care. This is my husband's church. I don't care. If it does not allow you to live into the love that you have for humanity, you got to remove yourself. So the question becomes, what would it take? Alice Warner Shelley, she said this. She said, in order for me to preserve my love for the space of brunch, in order for me to continue to love brunch, I can't serve it. We don't serve it at my restaurant. We're not going to serve it at my restaurant. We will never serve it at my restaurant, because it would take me out of the ability to continue to love my passion, what I'm passionate about. And I refuse to allow anybody to keep me from loving what I'm passionate about. What would it take for you to say, this don't feed my passion? This does not help me to preserve my love for humanity. And not even just at church. If you work in a space where y'all sitting around the water cooler and y'all talking negatively about Black folks, that ain't your space. But girl, I make 6 figures. I don't care. Girl, I got a mortgage. I don't care. Lowe says church going is a conscious choice. Honestly, I don't think it is. I think it can become a conscious choice. But just let me tell you about me. This is 2024. It wasn't until 2014 that I started doing this work, advocating and activating for people who are LGBTQIA+, that I realized that I was not going to church because it was a conscious decision. I was going to church because that was the expectation in my household. My mama said, and this is what my mama used to say, as long as you live at 1450 Brinkley Drive, you gonna go to church. So since I ain't had my own house, and since I was not working at a job that would allow me to, I had a job, because all of us got a job. Like by the time we were 14, 15, 16, we started working. And so we had a job, but they didn't pay enough for me to get my own place. So as long as we lived there, I wasn't making no conscious decision to go to church. I wasn't even listening in church. I was in the back passing notes to my friends. I didn't know what they was talking about. I didn't even care what they was talking about. How long is they gonna preach? As a matter of fact, let's put Sister So-and-so, Sister Mary, on the countdown. That's what we used to do. All right, y'all. Y'all know she gonna shout in 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. There she go. It wasn't a conscious choice. Now it is a conscious choice, but it wasn't. And so what would happen? What has to happen to us for us to realize actually where you go to church is a conscious choice? What has to happen in your life to make you realize that? Because it took me listening to the stories of people who had been excommunicated from the church. Because remember, I came to Jesus because I was looking for a savior. I was looking for a deliverer. I was looking for somebody who was going to rescue me from the violence. So I was all about Jesus. Jesus was my best friend. I mean, I was preaching. I was teaching. I was doing it. Look, I was doing it all. I was singing. I was in the choir. I was playing a piano. I'm teaching the youth. I was doing everything to help people understand who this Jesus is, only to come into relationship with people where they said, no, Jesus said he don't love you. Hey, what Jesus? What? Who told y'all that? Not only did they tell me that, but they taught my mama and them that. So that once I came out, because I don't even understand why people who are same gender loving got to come out. Those of us who are not same gender, do we have to come out? Do we have to say, you know what? I think, do women that are heterosexual have to say, you know what? I just want everybody to know that I love men. What? No, you don't do that. So what? Anyway, so not only was the church preaching that, but they're teaching the parents that, so that when these people that I'm listening to their stories, I'm one-on-one, eye to eye, I can feel their heartbeat. I can feel their pulse. They're telling me this story, and their mama would say to them, you got to get out of this house and you can't come back. Not only can you not come back, but you can't even talk to your brother and sister. As a matter of fact, don't touch them. As if you contagious. Like, wait a minute. You done grown up in this house and now you 16 and you starting to realize that it's something different about you based on what everybody's been telling you. Now you feel different. You trying to figure out what's going on with you, and you decide to share with your mom and she tell you to get out. At 16, where you supposed to go? What you supposed to do? And you gonna tell me you can't touch your brother? Don't come back to this house. This is the only place I've ever known. So when I started hearing these stories, I'm like, wait, whoa. Wait now. Wait. I'm not understanding the words that are coming out of your mouth. I'm not understanding this. In order for me to preserve the love that I have, I can't be a part of a system of religion that allows this to happen to people that you say God, because you say God is love. So you say God is love, but then you don't put them out the church because God don't love them, because they gay, because they lesbian, because they bisexual, because they. What would it take for you to finally decide that every decision that I make in my life is going to be a conscious decision? Where I work is going to be a conscious decision. How I vote is going to be a conscious decision. Who I love, because I don't believe that song. I know it's a song, and I like the song. What's her name? Tweet. Oops, there go my shirt up over my head. Oh my. Okay, I love the song. I like it. I can jam to it. I'm like, hey, but I don't believe it's true. I don't believe you all of a sudden you done fell in love and you ain't had no thought about it at all. All of a sudden you can't help yourself. I'm just in love. I can't help myself. I just done fell in love. I just I just fell on the floor and he or she or they just fell on top of me and entered me. No, that's not how this works. So what would it take for you to say every decision I make, where I spend my money? I don't spend my money at Chick-fil-A. I don't. What would it take for you to say, no, I have to be thoughtful and mindful of the way my behavior shows up in the world. Even if nobody is in the car with me, even if nobody sees me go through the drive-through, even if nobody sees me pull up in the parking lot, I see me. And whoever I say my God is sees me. What would it take for us to live like that? You say the Christian God is also hate. See? See what I mean, Lo? You will not let me have a non-polarizing conversation. Why are you trying to polarize people? Yes, I do believe that the Christian God is an exclusive God. I do believe that the Christian God is about insider, outsider. I do believe that the Christian God is one that pits us against each other. I do believe that. I absolutely believe that. And you can just see it in the writings. Like even when you think about Peter, I can't remember if it's First Peter or Second Peter, it says, behold, you are a chosen generation. You are royal, you, not y'all. And it's very interesting because it's like, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, right? So that's part of, like, that's the first part. So God gave God's son for the whole world. But then it said, no. Only the part of the world that believes in him. If you believe in him, then you should not perish. So if you don't believe in him, now you're going to hell. Like, wait, like, what now? Either you love the world or you don't. How you only love a part of the world? And then you say God is love. Well, God is love. How you love it if you only love a part of the world? How is it that love has strings attached? See, I'm just stating some facts. Define world. What you mean define world? The planet? I don't know how to define world other than to say everybody that's walking around here. If you walking around here, whether you if you in North America, South America, the Antarctica, if you walking around here, to me that's the world. I don't know how else to define the world. Maybe I should ask you, how do you define the world? And so that's what I want us to think about tonight. That's all I want us to think about is, and I was going to bring up, I do have a scripture. I was going to bring up the scripture about love. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not keep score. That was the scripture that I was going to use, but I see that I'm running out of time. But how we define love, and for us to say, and for us to consider redefining it, that love does not mean I'm so patient that I'm gonna let you whoop me upside my head and say, oh, but I love you. That love is not so kind that I don't check you on your behavior, that I let you say and do whatever you want to say and do. Somebody, well, you know, that's just how they are. You got to give them That's not, that we have to redefine love so that it is a conscious act, and that it is what drives us to be mindful of how we show up, where we show up, and the why behind why and where we show up. So Lo says your block could be your world, your community could be your world. Oh, okay. I agree with you on all of that. And so I don't even think I want to argue it. So even if you start on your block, making conscious decisions about the world around you on your block, how do you preserve your love for humanity? What is it that you have to divest from in order for you to preserve your love, even if you start on your block? So it doesn't matter to me whether it's your block, whether it's your community, whether it's the planet. Start wherever you are. Said love is something else. You heard the song The Truth by, I haven't heard the song The Truth by India Arie. I know I heard her. I know brown skin, talking about your brown, and I know beautiful, beautiful. I am not my hair. I don't know this song. I'm gonna have to look that up. The Truth by India Arie. And so that's what I'm pushing us to do. I'm asking us to define love for ourselves, because I don't want to define it for you, because I believe in freedom. I believe in liberation. So if I'm believing liberation, I can't tell you what to do. But I'm asking us to define love. And then I'm asking us to figure out, what does it mean to preserve? What does it look like to preserve that love? And in order to preserve it, what do you have to let go of? And are you willing to let go? Because sometimes we can name what we're supposed to do, but then we don't do it. I can tell somebody what I ought to do. Girl, look, I know I need to start doing such and such and keep right on doing it. So what are we willing to name and know that we need to stop doing, but we are also willing to say, I'm going to take that next step and actually stop doing it. I'm not going back to this church. I'm not going back to this hairdresser. I'm not going back to this block. I'm not going back to this store. I'm not going back to this lover. What would it take for us to take those conscious steps so that we are living our faith more authentically? What would it take? Those are the questions that I have for you, and I'm going to let you go. It's 7:59, but I'm going to let you go because the debate starts in 1 minute. The debate, of those of you in CST, the debate starts in 1 minute. Let's see what happens tonight. Good. Let me go over here and get in my bed with me some popcorn and see how this is about to go down. Thank you all for joining us for the good fight. I'll see you right back here, same time, same place next Tuesday. Bye.